In the words of the professor from Futurama, good news everyone, Wayfinder is finally getting a very, very important patch in the form of version 0.2. At some point in December, we will be getting this massive patch with over 1,300 different changes to the game. Now, I know I recently made a video where I pretty much just talked about my overall disappointment of the game, and a lot of my comments still stand. I've been playing a lot more of the game recently to try and keep up with it, especially after the December patch was announced, because a lot of my issues with the game, a lot of them stem from the fact that the game is just in not a very good working state. And thankfully, the December patch is hopefully going to be solving a lot of those issues. So I thought I would sort of go over and see what some of these possible works are. So they've given us some sneak peeks at what some of the improvements and changes are going to be. So I'm just going to go through them as best as I possibly can. Obviously, they've not revealed all 1,300 to us because that is an insane amount, but they've sort of drip fed some of the more interesting things, I guess. So as of yet, there is no current announcement or release date of these changes. Unfortunately, by the sounds of things, there's no news when it comes to the PlayStation fan base. No idea what's happening with that. I imagine there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that they just can't tell us, unfortunately, until they figure out some sort of agreement with Sony. But yeah, for now, this is just purely PC players. But anyway, let's just jump into what these changes actually are. You can also see the December patch preview yourself if you just go to the Wayfinder Discord. This is where I'm getting the information from. So first up, we've got performance improvements. It is no surprise that Wayfinder does not run as optimally as it should. It's an early access game and it plays like one. My PC, I wouldn't say is particularly high-end, fairly mid-range, I'd say. The game does not run as smoothly as you would sort of expect. So it has a fair amount of optimization to go. Hopefully, this will result in a smoother experience. I am really hopeful, but again, we will have to see. There are improvements to the UI. Not 100% what those could be. The main one that I can think of is the reward tower and how it doesn't work 100%. You know how in the reward tower you try and go up between like levels 3 and 4, and for some reason you click level 4 and it just doesn't do it? So you have to go out and come back in. Yeah, that's something that I'm hoping they fix because it is a slight minor annoyance. There are other UI issues that I can't say I've experienced myself, but I'm sure there's plenty out there that I've just not come across. Now this one is also interesting. There is a Senya rework. Now I've not played any of Senya since her like free trial during the closed beta, was it? They basically gave her out and everyone could try her and see how she was. And I really liked her weird sort of motivation mechanic. I don't really know how to explain it because I don't have the character. I've not tried farming for them or anything like that, so I've not tried them since full release. I don't actually know what they're reworking. Hopefully they're not doing too much to her kit because I think her overall design, at least what I played, was a fun idea. But again, I can't really speak on it. I've not played her since she's been released. Next up are some weapon and stats that have been rebalanced. Who knows what that could mean? I imagine some of the more OP weapons are being brought down a peg or two, and then maybe some of the weaker ones are brought back up. I know at one point the Tempest was pretty much the be-all and end-all when it came to rifles, but that was back when the game pretty much first came out. I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea what the recommended weapon choices are nowadays. This is an interesting one. I didn't actually read this the first time I was reading it through, but apparently there's going to be an ability to earn cosmetics in-game, which will be a phenomenal addition because the only way we can earn cosmetics in-game is basically through the reward tower. And pretty much since they're pausing seasons, there aren't any more ways to earn cosmetics. Although admittedly, from what I remember of the reward tower, the only cosmetics are for the venomous anyway, so... But either way, it's still cosmetics that you can technically earn. But yeah, so it looks like there's going to be new ways to earn cosmetics in-game, which will be a nice change, because I'm sure people will not complain about new charms, new character, dyes, and whatnot. As we all know, the endgame isn't farming, it's fashion. there is also going to be new customization options. That is very vague. That could mean anything. I don't fully know what it means. By the looks of things, if you go down a little bit further on the patch preview, it does actually say what those are. So, by the looks of things, we finally are going to be able to update weapon dyes. So being able to actually change the color of your weapons is absolutely phenomenal. On top of that, there is also going to be 2 new Wayfinder dye slots, including Heroic Kairos' effects. I'm a little bit jealous of whoever actually owns Heroic Kairos. There is a little GIF. I will try and put it on screen if I remember. I should do. If I remember correctly, the GIF does show you Heroic Kairos, you know, in action, and then the colors changing, and then there's also the weapon change. The weapon color also changes. So it's a very nice change to have. More excuse for fashion is definitely what we're looking for. So new customization pretty much means you can customize your weapon, and there are some new Wayfinder dye slots. One of them being, I'm guessing, the FX for heroic characters, of which is currently only Kairos. Next up, we have speeding up sword and shield and scythe auto attacks. So by the looks of things, sword and shield and scythes are a bit too slow. Now, I don't have any sword or shield or scythes, so I can't speak for the validity on that one, but apparently they're too slow. They're buffing them in terms of speed. That's very nice. They're also changing parries. Now this, I don't know how I'm going to enjoy, because the Knight's Edge is the only dagger I've used in this game. Parrying is not, you know, it's not the best parry system I've ever played in a game ever. It is very satisfying to pull off. I will give them that. So I don't know if they're changing it to be more fluid or to be less powerful. I don't know what they're intending with the changes to the parry. I hope it doesn't change too much. I hope it just doesn't lock you in that sort of frozen state for nearly as long. Because when you do it and you're just locked for just that split second, does not feel good. So hopefully that's the change they're talking about. But again, we just will not know until this patch, whenever it comes, rolls around. Looks like there's a change in weapon abilities as well. So now every weapon ability in the game will now scale 50-50 with ability power and weapon power. I'm sure someone smarter than I can figure out whether this is a really good or a really terrible improvement. But from my standing, if, let's say, your weapon ability scales off of weapon power, then having a full ability power character being built that way kind of sucks. So the change looks like it'll be a good one. They're also changing everything about ranged combat, essentially. So all ranged weapons are getting some form of adjustment. This comes in the form of defined subclasses, each with pros and cons, and each having a unique buff when landing a perfect reload. So there's a lovely little version 0.2 ranged weapon subclass for the rifle, shotgun, rune cannon, and burst rifle. So everything is going to have scaled damage, armor penetration, target piercing, break power, range, rate of fire, clip size. Now, I've not used any other weapons other than the ransom, I think. The default one you get with Silo. But yeah, this seems like it was honestly probably needed. For instance, you can't really have a shotgun with, you know, infinite range. By the looks of things, this will be a positive change. I think hopefully it will make ranged combat a bit more interesting. Playing range is fairly boring. It's fairly safe, but it's also fairly boring. So hopefully this will be a nice change. So for rifles, when you perfect reload, you will get plus 35% rate of fire for 4 seconds. Shotguns get plus 50% break power for 4 seconds. Burst rifles get plus 50% crit power for 5 seconds. Rune cannons plus 50% weapon power for 5 seconds. So they're all pretty much individual, which is very nice. They're all very clear and cut, and you can, you know, cater your build depending on which you prefer. I feel like plus 50% crit power could end up being very, very strong for burst rifles. But I guess we will see. Now here is a very important one that I think a lot of people are going to be very, very happy about. And it turns out that they are basically reducing the time to farm, which is a big, big improvement. So it says here, Little Trickster told us you want more coins and maybe some archaic bones. We agree that crafting materials were difficult to farm at times, so we are standardizing some drops across lost zones and guaranteeing rewards from the Trickster. Hopefully what that means is that sometimes the trickster gives you a book or an accessory rather than one of those really annoying coins. It's just always guaranteed a coin, and then maybe sometimes you get an accessory. Because it is really annoying to farm those damn coins and not get them. But it looks like they're upping the loot table percentages, which is a big need, because as someone that farmed Knight's Maw about 10 times and didn't get a single, I can't remember what it's called, the weird ooze, it was not a fun time. I can't even imagine how bad it was when that monster respawned every 2 hours. Every 2 hours that thing respawned and you could summon it again for a fight. No thank you. Big improvement, but still, loot drops, not great. Hopefully this is a great change to farming and makes things just so much easier and more enjoyable to play. And last but not least, we have a wonderful quality of life that I really wish they had just put in earlier, but I guess they had to test it against a bunch of other systems. But we finally have access to sell multiple items at once when this patch drops. You can just sell in bulk. Thank goodness for that. Selling stuff individually is painful, and I'm so very happy that that is finally going to be solved. Now, as far as patch previews go, that is all we currently have. We're up to patch preview number 5 as of Saturday, the 2nd of December. More might come out between now and when this video goes out, which will be on the 4th, so keep an eye on the Discord if you want to know more. But honestly, it does seem to be that they are listening. A lot of the issues in the game do look like they're going to be addressed in some form or another. Obviously, they're not going to be able to solve everything. You work on a game, you fix some things, you break some things, you fix some more things, you break some more things. It's just game development. It is what it is. But the fact they're adding some new systems, refining some stuff, and making the game overall better with a very important patch is such wonderful news, and I look forward to playing it whenever it releases. I might make a video on it when it comes out. Again, we don't know the date. I don't know when that's going to be, and depending on when it is in December, we shall see, because obviously December is a very busy month for everyone. If I find the time, I will try and put some more time into Wayfinder when the patch comes out and see how things are. I'm really intrigued to see what the Senna rework is. If anyone has played Senna and wants to let me know on why she needs the rework in the first place, please let me know, because I would love to know. But yeah, I thought it'd be nice to post something more positive about Wayfinder. I know I made that video where I basically complained about the game the entire time, and I still stand by my thoughts. The game has a long way to go, but this patch, I think, does a significant amount to improve its overall outlook going forward, hopefully. Anyway though, with that, I must say my goodbyes. If you are looking for any more patch previews that come along, I would recommend checking out the Discord. It seems they're previewing a couple of things every day or so by the looks of things, because in the December patch preview section of the Discord, like every 2 days they've added a new preview, each slightly more interesting than the last. But yeah, keep an eye on that one. Thank you for those that stuck around to the end. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all of that good stuff. And until next time, where hopefully the patch is out and we will finally get to see what kind of good it brings to the game. I've been James, the Mayor of JamessTown, and until next time, where hopefully we get to see how good the patch is and just all the sort of progress it brings to the game and rejuvenation, hopefully. Until then, though, goodbye.